The NBA has changed a lot over the years. Player contracts have shrunk as the decades have gone on, meaning players are constantly switching sides and looking to see if the grass is greener somewhere else. I must admit, as a longtime NBA fan, I think the concept of loyalty in the NBA is overrated. Because why should these players be bound to one franchise when the general managers would trade them in a heartbeat if it's in the best interest of their own selfish interests? Ultimately, it's a business where players are traded and players leave for greener pastures in free agency. 99 times out of 100, I have no problem with either of those moves. And after all, Michael Jordan is remembered as a Chicago Bull, but he didn't spend all of his time in Chicago. Same thing with Hakeem Olajuwon and the Houston Rockets, Steve Nash and the Phoenix Suns, and Damian Lillard and the Portland Trail Blazers. Sometimes it's just fun to see what an NBA legend can or can't do in a completely new jersey. Which is why today we're looking at the top stars in the modern game that I would like to see play elsewhere before they retire. And let me know in the comments section below if there are any players in today's game that you would like to see somewhere else as well. First off, Jimmy Butler. The relationship between him and the Miami Heat has been a tumultuous one to say the least, and it feels like it might finally be coming to an end soon. Jimmy Buckets has already played for 4 different franchises throughout his career, and in that time, he's built a pretty solid legacy for himself, as a guy who excels in the playoffs and as a guy who can take an underdog team to the game's biggest stage, the NBA Finals, just like he did with the Miami Heat in 2020 and in 2023. He's now 35 years old, and I'm wondering if he still has enough left in the tank to be that same incredible leader in the NBA postseason. But ideally, this time I'd like to see him not on an underdog team, but on a team that's actually expected to win. For example, if Jimmy found himself in Golden State alongside of Steph Curry, or in Denver alongside of Nikola Jokic, I think that would be an amazing opportunity for him to actually deliver in an instance where people are actually expecting him to. Speaking of those other stars, next up, Steph Curry. I'm not saying I necessarily want to see him leave soon, because Steph is beloved in Golden State, and at the level he's performing, he looks as if he's still got another solid 5 years of basketball left in the tank. Steph has the kind of game that ages beautifully, as his solid handle and soft shooting touch is not something that typically ages out as he increases in age. To put it simply, once a shooter, always a shooter. Here's the kind of scenario I'd like to see Steph in as he gets older. When he's no longer capable of being the best player on a championship team, I'd like to see him embrace a role similar to how Ray Allen did with Boston and eventually Miami. It would be awesome to see Steph at the age of 38 or 39 taking a back seat to another superstar leader, while still remaining a lethal off-ball threat, as the best spot-up shooter in the entire league. For example, in another 3 or 4 years, it would be cool to see him in, say, San Antonio, alongside of an even stronger Victor Wembanyama, as he extends his years of championship contention while aging as gracefully as the shooters before him, like Ray Allen and Reggie Miller. Lastly is Nikola Jokic. In the past, he stated that he's very happy in Denver, and he is absolutely beloved in that city, and for obvious reasons, as he led them to their only NBA championship in franchise history. I don't necessarily want to see Jokic somewhere else very soon, but at the very least, I'd like to see him somewhere else by the tail end of his prime. And the reason why is because the Joker currently has this interesting legacy, where he's collecting tons of MVPs, breaking records, and is considered as one of the greatest big men in the history of the game. Yet he only has 1 championship ring to show for it. The predominant narrative in the NBA community today is that if Nikola Jokic was paired up with another elite superstar, it wouldn't even be fair for the rest of the league. After all, he did win a championship with Jamal freaking Murray as the next best player. So imagine what he could do alongside of a guy like Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving, or even Ja Morant. Personally, I feel like we need to see him and Luka on the same team at some point in their careers. These guys are such great friends, and I honestly think that if they don't make this duo happen at some point in their careers, then it may be something that they end up regretting years after their retirements. So now it's your guys' turn. Who is a player today that you'd like to see elsewhere? And ideally, where would that be? I look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comment section below. Thanks for watching as always. Make sure to like and subscribe for more basketball content, and I'll see you guys in the next video.